What's up? Welcome to the show. Dude, thanks for coming on. Appreciate you taking the time to, out of your day to come on.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's we've been talking about doing this for a little bit. I know we've had our ups and downs with getting it, but I'm glad that you can finally do it. And I think it's funny that we've come from like meeting at a place I used to work at in a bar when I was like unemployed and like needed a job to like now we're here. We're both in much better spots. Congrats on the job, by the way.
Oh yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah, how does that feel? The stress of like the new like
Oh, good.
just having that going.
It feels pretty good if I had to. Yeah, it feels great.
Yeah.
It feels
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah,
It's a plus to just like have that gone.
yeah, I'd say
Some kid banging on the door.
it's funny.
He was standing right there at the door. I don't know if you saw him. He was standing there like looking at us.
Oh really?
And I would just kept ignoring him. And then he went over there and started banging. Just now. Just now. Anyways, but yeah, the stress of like, oh my gosh, the job hunt and all that stuff. Like we both went through that. So I know kind of like similar pain that you had, but well, not only is it like stressful because you're like, I need to pay my bills, then it's also stressful because the market right now is like so bad
Yeah,
that it is just its own mental battle every day, really.
yeah, yeah. I think I told you I submitted about 3,000 applications.
It certainly, that's how it felt for me. Yeah, I remember I did so many, and I remember at one point I had like 8 interviews going on at once, and was like, "Great, things are moving, woohoo!" And then like you get like 8 denies after like the first just like interview, and you're like, "Great, back at square one." I
Yeah,
remember that going through that, and I was like, I just have to take a break. Like I need to not do this. Like I was just like, "What the fuck is going on?"
yeah,
And so I like took a break, got that bar job, and took that break for like a month. And then I was like, all right, now I'm going to apply and be like really strategic about what I'm going to apply to. And like, so they always say you should like tailor your resume and stuff of that nature. But let's be fucking real. That takes forever to do. And it's so annoying to have to do that for every, if you're applying to 50 jobs a day, you're telling me you're going to sit there and tailor your resume 50 times. I don't know anyone that would do that.
yeah. No, it doesn't work like that. I don't.
I just started tailoring it.
Back then when the job market was amazing.
Yeah,
For sure.
and interest rates were 1%.
Yeah.
All that. Yeah. So no, I like I started to do tailor. I started just being really picky to what I was applying to instead of just like applying as much as I could. I was like, because it's just like the mentality of like getting 1,000 rejections is like it's I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're the best salesman in the world. It's a little mentally tough on you.
Yeah, no, it like at first, like when I was getting like some of the rejection letters, it I was like, oh, and then it got to the point I was like, oh, there's another one, just another one, and just like scroll through 5 or whatever, like no big deal, just another day.
Yep, just another 50. No, unfortunately, we're going a different direction. And there's some, I don't know if you had this experience, but I have some where like I would get rejected and I'm like, I know I'm overqualified.
Yeah, 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 that's him. Oh my gosh.
Like I'm like,
Yeah.
I look at the description and I'm like, I am way overqualified for this. So you're telling me out of 100 applicants, there's 100 people that are extremely qualified for this? Like it's funny. I saw a tweet the other day where it was like, we're creating an AI thing to streamline resumes, and then someone like quote tweeted and it was like, how great is it that we've created AI to not only read our resumes, but we're also using AI to apply to resumes. So AI is just creating the resume and then also rejecting the resume. Yeah, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's such a mess right now. And then I wonder, like, do you think some of those companies are just putting out like fake job things? I'm like, maybe.
Like yeah, I heard that they're trying to data mine or something like that. Like they're getting information on people. Yeah, so
I didn't even think about
yeah,
it.
so they would just create like these postings and it's just you're feeding it data into the machine.
So it knows who was posting where, what they're asking for.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know the mechanics behind it. I was too busy applying for jobs.
Yeah.
But yeah, but like I would like read things like that. I'm like, oh yeah, more bad news. Just keep going.
Yeah, it's crazy. The AI stuff is like, it's a little mind boggling because it's like, obviously, we've all kind of used it here and there. Some people use it for like very basic, like search things, but then I'll use it for like data analysis on things.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And then I know people that like set up full automations with it, set up like AI assistants basically. And I'm like, it's just bananas the things you can do with it. They've got things where you can like it'll help you like write up a website or a code that you need. You can just program it to do what it
Oh, you
needs
sound
to
like
do.
apps.
Yeah, like it'll help make an
Yeah.
app or a website, whichever one, either or. Like you can just be like, oh, I want to make something that to stock trade, stuff of that nature. Like it's gonna get bananas here in the next couple like years.
Yeah, they're saying that it's gonna. They're saying right now, I want to say it has like an IQ of like 90, and they said it's eventually gonna, or eventually it's soon it'll be 200,
Yeah.
which is crazy to think about because that's like superhuman like
Yeah.
type of intelligence. That's like
Einstein level.
yeah, that's like Einstein level, but just at the tips of your fingers. Like that'll be good. That'll be
Yeah.
great. Nothing bad will come of that. You know.
Yeah, well, they've already done some studies where it shows, I don't know the specifics and I don't have a Jamie at the moment to pull it up, but there's like studies where it shows like people that use it on like a daily basis have like a 37% like drop in like intelligence or like IQ.
Really?
Because well, like, and it does make sense because like if you're using it to like think for yourself, you've cut out that thinking. You've cut out the thing that makes you human, which is like trying to like sit and figure out a problem. You're just like, oh, the AI will do this for me, boom, 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 and then you're like, okay, yeah, I did.
I mean, I guess if you're dumb, you know, I don't know.
I always make it them dumber. I mean, yeah, no,
Yeah, no, like I use it consistently, and so like yeah, uh, I use it to help with like certain like tasks and stuff.
yeah,
Like I ask it a bunch of just a bunch of like even things like workflow or like supplements and stuff like that. Like, hey, am I taking too much? Am I taking too little? Like, is this okay? Like on my system? Like, what do you think about this?
yeah,
You know, because it's like with like certain supplements that you take, it's like it can like start to build up in your system and it can be hard on like your kidneys or your liver, especially like over time. And some supplements, it's good to take like breaks from them. Like don't take them 7 days a week.
right,
It's good to take them like 5. So I had it help me with my regimen and everything that I do. And it was like, hey, like you should probably have 2 days off of everything that you're taking so that it's just easier on your body and that you get more of like a mental clarity effect from it. Cause I take that I take that Beyond Brew like mushroom coffee.
okay,
And then I take turkey tail on top of that, and then I take lion's mane on top of that. So it's like those are two like very good like cognitive boosters,
yeah.
you know, and then along with all my other supplements that I take, but it was just like, hey, you might want to like give your body like a got kind of like a break. And also too, it's like it didn't detect like any like type of like toxin like buildup, but it
Right.
was like, hey,
It can't happen.
yeah, it can happen, you know, and it depends on like what brands you're taking too. You know, some of them can have like impurities in them. Some of the impurities are okay. Some like your body can process it, and other things aren't. Like, yeah, I mean, if you keep on building on that, you could like mess your system up.
What's the regimen that you're taking for nutrition wise? I've been on nutrition kick, so I'm down to get into this.
Okay, so I guess I just like I guess I'll tell you about like my morning like workflow.
Yeah, take me through the day.
All
I mean,
right,
her
okay.
day.
So
Of supplements and nutrition. I don't want to know your whole day.
yeah, so I typically wake up 4:30 like in the morning,
Okay.
and then
Bananas.
yeah.
We'll start there. Sure.
People think I'm crazy for doing that. I've been doing that since I was in like 5th grade. So not 4 o'clock, but in 5th grade it was 6 o'clock.
I couldn't imagine.
Yeah. Well, it was to go like work out in the gym because like my dad he had like a little gym like in our house.
The home gym.
Yeah,
The home gym action.
yeah. I actually remember speaking of this. I actually remember when I was a kid. So yeah, it had to be like 5th, 6th grade, something like that. But I missed a day where I accidentally slept in. I missed a day of working out or whatever. And so I was actually in the car and I was like in tears or whatever. And my dad was like, Brandon, like, are you all right? And I was like, I miss working out. I'm gonna lose all my muscles. He was like, it does not work that way. And I was like, really? And he was like, yeah, no, you'll be all right.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's funny too. Like all my muscles is like a 5th grader, like
Yeah.
puny.
Yeah.
Um,
Did you ever? So you never had that growing up, where like I remember growing up, they used to tell us like you shouldn't work out until like you're hitting puberty because it like stunts your growth.
yeah, I think from what I've read, like I think that's kind of like BS unless you're doing like just some like crazy athletic type of like I don't think it's like too good for maybe like a 16-year-old to be like squatting like 700 pounds
Yeah.
and stuff like that when your like muscle like skeletal system is like still like trying to like develop.
That's
and
what they were
stuff.
saying. I think that's the logic behind it. But they never went in more detail than that. Just, oh,
Yeah.
you're gonna stunt your growth. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
all they said.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think I can speak too much on it. I mean, obviously, I don't think it's too good for kids to be taking like testosterone or
Well, I
stuff
don't think
like
that
that.
it's definitely not what I was talking about. I was talking about working out. But yeah, okay.
Yeah, well, no, like you see something like these like athletes and stuff like that. They'll be like 15 and 16 years old, like popping like pro hormones and stuff. Yeah, like that's not good for the bones. That'll actually fuse your growth plates and your bones. Yeah, so like you don't want to like do that.
It makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, yeah, so my regimen in the morning. So yeah, so like I said, like I wake up 4:30, and then on the days that I go and work out, I do the cold shower first thing in the morning, and then after the cold shower, I take turkey tail, I take lion's mane, D3, and then yeah, LJ 100. It's supposed to be really good for your testosterone. And then I go to the gym, and then back from the gym. I eat my breakfast. I meal prep everything out about like a month or whatever.
So meal prep out a month.
Yeah, just freeze it.
Oh my God, man. Dude, I was like, what are you talking about right now? We're gonna have to go into that. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes a little more sense.
Well, it just like saves time. Cause like I cook it in the cast iron skillet and stuff, and doing that every single day, like you're talking about, like, I mean, that might kill like an hour of your time. I'm not doing that every day.
Yeah.
I'd rather just like bang it out right there and then just have everything ready to go.
You'd rather waste a full day.
Yeah, and then so like after I eat my breakfast, my meal prep, then I take my multivitamin, and then what else do I take? Yeah, then later on in the day, I'll take like fish oils, omegas, and then at night I'll take glycine, and then I'll take some milk thistle, and then sometimes I take some like lysine. It's supposed to be like really good for your skin, and then of course amino acids, creatine, all that good stuff,
Yeah.
protein, yada yada.
Yeah. What got you into the nutrition side of things? Like when did that kick off?
Oh, I'd probably have to say it had to have been like fifth grade. Like I remember like even like going in
Like
like
you've been doing this for forever.
yeah, it's a huge part of my life.
Okay. I didn't know that. I haven't know, but that is not. I didn't know it was that long. I knew you were into it, but I didn't know it was like since birth, basically.
Yeah, no, big time. Yeah, no, I remember being like a kid and like going down like the candy aisle or whatever. And my mom's like, "Oh, she's like, do you want like a Hershey's or whatever, some Kisses?" And I was just like, "No, I can't eat this.
No, I'll
Sugar."
take some beta alkaline. Actually,
It's like I don't know why I was thinking that as a kid. I have no idea how like as a kid I knew I was like Kit Kat probably not good or whatever. I have no idea.
I'm not the same way. I'm
I
not
wasn't
a
on the
sweets
internet.
person. I'm like never been. Like there's some candy I'll go get from the candy aisle or like at a gas station, but overall, like dessert could care less about. When I was a kid, birthdays did eat my birthday cake. Never ate it. Just never ate it.
Oh, you're crazy. Yeah,
Yeah,
no, I ate the cake.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, just like in dessert sense, like I get that, like being like, oh, that shit's bad. I just it never appeased to me, never appealed to me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, no, I like the red velvet cake. Yeah,
that's the best.
that and cheesecake. Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm down for some cheesecake.
Neither do anything for me. I could care less about it. I could down with some ice cream here and there.
Yeah.
I could fuck up some M&Ms, some Hershey Kisses, but that's about it. That's where like my line ends. You know what's funny is I used to love like Hershey, just milk chocolate, classic Hershey bar.
Yeah.
And I read some article or some video where like they did a test on like the Hershey bars, and I think it was something like 90 or 85% of them have like bug parts in them.
Oh
And
wow.
ever since that, I've never had one again. I can't even look at one and not think of that. Like it's one of those things where you read it and you're like, it's just seared in my head now. And so I'll see like there's the days where like, maybe got some munchies going. I'm like, ooh, some chocolate would be good. And if I go to the gas station down there, I see a Hershey bar. I'm like, damn, I can't get that. And I want no part in that.
That's funny that you say that. You bring up a memory. I remember I was in English class, and this had to been like sixth grade. Yeah. And the teacher brought in chocolate covered crickets.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
and it was like it
What
was
school did you go to?
yeah, it was like something or whatever that she bought. And anyways, I don't know like why she did it, but like the kids were like, "Oh no, I'm not eating that." And I was like,
I can try it.
and then I tried. I was like, "It's
Protein,
protein."
honestly, is your workout. Yeah.
Yeah, it was good to me or whatever. It was just a cricket, but I mean, it was nicely baked. It wasn't like a fresh cricket. I mean, it was.
You
It
can
was
describe it as much as best as you need to. I want nothing to do with it. So that also, as much as I hate desserts, let's add bugs on top of it, and I really don't want it. I want nothing to
yeah,
do with it.
yeah.
No. Any this is a weird thing. So just jogged my memory. When I was in like third or second grade, we had like a class chicken that like hatched, and then we like someone was able to take it home. And I remember going to my dad and being like, I remember my dad sitting at his desk, and I was like, we have this pet chicken like at school, and they said someone could take it home. Can I like, can we bring it home?
Mm.
He was like, sure. Like,
Oh, go on.
and then when I brought it home, he was like, oh my God, it's a real chicken. He like had no idea it was a real chicken. And then but then he's already too far in. So he had to keep this little pet chicken. And we kept it till it like grew to like a big enough chicken to take to a farm, I guess. And we took it to one of our friends had a farm, and they took it. And I have no idea how to do it.
He took probably go get slaughtered.
Probably died.
Yeah.
But at the time, it was just funny because he's like, oh, it's like, his face is just like, oh, you were serious and it's real. Like, I thought it was like a cute little stuffed animal, little chicken, and it was not. It was not. You guys ever had any weird pets, things like that at school?
You know, let's think. I remember first grade. We had like this like, dude, it was magical. It was like this. It was like this big like. The teacher had made a like this big like square like net, and we grew butterflies in it. It was really cool. So
Oh, yeah.
did like the whole like caterpillar, whatever, I can't say it.
Yeah, caterpillar.
Yeah, yeah, it was really cool. So like we like fed them and stuff or whatever. Oh, it was neat.
I just found a crazy fact. Do you know when they're in the caterpillars, when they're in the cocoon, that they turn into a liquid form?
What?
They go before they turn to a butterfly, they turn liquid inside the cocoon, and then they become the butterfly. And then also, butterflies don't have mouths; they have like a sucker that comes out and cinches things out.
So they're like
The
like
nectar.
an anteater almost.
Yeah, for pollen. Yeah, yeah, a pollinator. Yeah, but like it's like I just found that out literally like 2 days ago. Very random fact. It was
That's
like
cool.
it's bananas that they would just go to liquid form in the cocoon, and then they expand out to butterfly.
Interesting.
I have no idea how that works. I mean, imagine if every night you went to bed, you get tucked in, and you just puddle, just pure puddle.
Ask AI.
Well, yeah, I'm sure AI has a good answer for that. We don't need that. AI would probably want to turn us into a puddle eventually,
Yeah.
and the robots take over. We both moved out here. That was something I wanted to talk about because, I mean, I love it out here. It's something, and by out here, I mean Denver for those that aren't aware, but I've talked about it a little bit in some other podcasts, but I always like to pick people's brain on like why they moved out here and what was their decision for coming out to Denver from the East Coast. So give me some insights here.
So I mean, I wanted to come to Denver just because I saw the bass music scene blowing up.
Yeah.
You know, I had my eye on Denver probably for about 3 years before I
Pulled the trigger.
yeah, and like I pulled it hard. Like as soon as like as soon as I fucking like found a place, like I just shot. Like I really like I didn't tell a lot of people bye. It was like, all right, found it. All right, cool, gotta go. And so yeah, no, I went.
I did very similar thing. Just dipped. I was like, I'm out of here.
Yeah, even my friend Tyler, like I remember making like some like Instagram like video, like some story or whatever, and he like messages me. He's like, are you gonna say bye? It's just like you just peaced out, man.
Visit.
Yeah, no, I remember that. Yeah, and the trip up here, that was ludicrous. Now that like time has passed, you know, and now I know why my dad was like so worried about me doing what I was doing because I drove straight from Louisiana all the way up here to Denver, like straight, like through the night. Yeah, I want to say
20 something hours.
oh, was that? Yeah, something like that. I mean, yeah, it was. I mean that, and I was also like in like one of those like moving trucks.
Yeah.
Which was that was an experience.
They're always an experience, especially cross country. It's just, oh God.
Yeah,
I don't even want to know. Yeah, that's a long drive. I mean, I did similar. So I just packed up my truck and dipped, and then 30 plus hours later ended up here.
yeah.
But I split it up. I was like, I'm gonna take my time, I'm gonna enjoy like this trip. I was also unemployed, so I had the ability to do that at the time. But I was like, yeah, I'm gonna spend a week in Nashville, and so I like just bumped around with some friends, and then
Oh, that's cool.
way out here, which was nice. But yeah, whatever. And I've done that drive now twice, which is wild.
Twice.
I had a friend in college.
I never want to do it again. That's crazy.
I had no desire to do it again. I had a friend in college that was joining the Air Force Academy, and part of their like freshman year is they have to go to boot camp before fall semester starts. So his summer is cut shorter than most, and he had to go to boot camp. And during boot camp, his mom was moving out to Colorado. She just wanted to get out of Florida anyways. And so we like kept it a surprise, and like she paid us to help her move basically, but then we also were like going to go to his graduation from boot camp and everything, which was cool to see.
Yeah.
But so we did that drive, and that was fun ish. That one we did not, I mean, we split it up, but we did not split up that one like as much as the one I just did. Like we went to Nashville, then we went to Kansas City, and then we went here in like 3 days. So 2 nights, first day was a 12-hour drive. We went out in Nashville that night. We were like, we were like, we're gonna go out downtown. We went out, and then we woke up, drove 8 hours to Kansas City. Woke up, drove 8 hours to Colorado. Blah blah blah. But that one was fun because I had a buddy with me, and at some point, his mom would probably kill us, but it's besides the point now. At some point in Kansas, because it's like dead, there's nothing there.
Yeah.
We were like, there's no one around, and we were driving out their like Acura TLX or something, and there was the little sports car, and we were driving that. That's what they wanted us to drive out the whole way, and we were like, how fast can we get this fucking thing up? And we were like on some like Kansas back roads, like go like 140, like it was, and then we went back on the highway, and we were like, we gotta try it. We're here. We're still fucking around. It was awesome.
That's funny. It's so dangerous. Yeah.
Well, we were like literally 18.
No, I mean, I've done stuff that's equally as dangerous as that. So yeah, no, you're making me have like flashbacks, like when I like motorcycles and stuff.
Yeah, when we're young, we always do. I think I'm out of that like go super fast phase now. Like even if I was thinking a motorcycle or something, I don't even want a crotch rocket. I want like a steady cruiser that I can just go around in and enjoy. But I remember sometimes back home, like when we were literally 17, 18, and we're like, I remember going back from Tampa one time, and we were on the Leroy Selman Expressway. For those in Tampa that know it, it'll make sense.
Is it like the Autobahn or something?
Dude, it's this like it's this toll road, and it's never like traveled, so it's pretty empty. And it was like 11 p.m. at night. No one.
Oh, that's good.
And so yeah, one of our friends in his Cadillac, like whatever the Cadillac coupe is, I don't remember the name of it, but literally was like, I'm going as fast. Like I remember looking over and seeing 145, and I was like, we're gonna die. Like, we're going to die. And in that car, I don't know if I've felt it in like other cars, but in that car, I remember being like, we are going extremely fast. Right? Like I remember that was like the thought in my head. I was like, you're going really fast. I'm looking over and being like, oh my God, we're gonna die. Like it was like apparent that we were going fast. Like there's some vehicles you're like, oh shit, I didn't know I was hitting that speed. Like, you're like in a 75 and you're like, fuck, I'm going 95. I'm going to get pulled over. You're like, but like that one, I was like, oh, we're going fast right now. We need to slow the fuck down.
Yeah.
I remember also another time we were on one of the other expressways, and our buddy was only going like 105, which like at the time, we're like, ooh, it's fast. But then we put it on like our Snapchat stories. And to this day, I don't know who, but someone fucking told our parents, and we all got like in trouble. I wasn't even driving. I was in like the back seat. I remember being like, I'm not driving. He's like, but you're in the car and you should have told him to slow down. I'm like, I'm not driving the vehicle. I'm not like, why am I getting in trouble here? What the heck?
Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes parents see some funny things like that where you're like, why am I getting in trouble here?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I remember this was in, I want to say it was, Plaquemine, if I remembering correctly. But yeah, so it's this place in Louisiana. It's like pretty like country out there, right? And so there's all these like farms and stuff. And so I was going home from this girl's house, and I was on my street bike, which was a Yamaha R1, so it's 1,000 cc's.
Okay.
Oh yeah, no, just so bananas. Oh, so bad. I was 19 years old. That's not good. And so like, so I remember it was like raining or whatever that day. And anyways, the rain died down, so I was like, all right, cool. Like I'm gonna peace out now, and now I can go. And so again, like you're saying, like it was like country roads, just wide open, whatever. And so, anyways, I was just like, oh, cool, whatever. I was like, I'm just gonna kind of like get on with it or whatever. And so I was going down, and I was just like cruising. I was like, oh wow, cool. I was like looking at like the farms and stuff and everything and all the land, like while I was going. And I looked down at my speedometer. I was like, oh shit, 150. I was like in the rain on a wet cement. I was like, Brandon. I was like, yeah, it's just like, oh, but I just didn't realize like how fast I was going.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it was like so wide open, and I was just like sitting there,
Yeah, the joking with you, seeing things. Yeah.
Yeah, 150. Yeah, that was crazy. I was just like, oh my goodness. Yeah. I mean, especially like in the rain, it's probably not good.
Yeah. And not that I would want to, not that I want to like do a bunch of cross country travel really much anymore, but like that is one thing that was cool about like just driving through the country is like the different scenery coming from Florida to the south to the Midwest and
Yeah.
to the plains and then to the mountains, and you're like even though the plains are extremely boring, like it was kind of like, oh, wow, this is kind of wild. Like I can literally see like miles, and it's kind of rolling hills versus like Florida's flat as can be.
Oh, yeah. So is Louisiana.
Yeah, yeah, Louisiana is sometimes below sea level in certain, certain
Yeah,
places.
there's this place called New Orleans I've heard about.
Yeah, New Orleans, like just like Vegas, shouldn't exist. It's just like it doesn't make sense for a civilization to be where it's at.
Yeah, I forgot how deep or how like below sea level New Orleans is it, but it's like not great.
It's got to be like at least -20. It's
Yeah.
like it's just not a good idea.
I mean, they have pumps in the city for a reason to pump the water.
And the levees broke again. No, Daniel Tasha said about like levees breaking, and I'm gonna butcher it, so I'm not even gonna try. But you can look it up. It's really funny. Yeah, it's amazing. It is. It's also it's amazing and perplexing because it's like, why did they decide to build here? I mean, it makes sense why they decided to build there on the mouth of the Mississippi, right on the right neck. But then at the same time, it's like, do they not know? Like, do they not have flooding back then? Is that like not a thing? Like, how you know what I mean? Like, how after like the first flood in the 1800s were they like, we'll just rebuild here? They weren't like, maybe we should just move it a little up the river. we can just control this, still, but we'll just move it up the river a little bit.
Yeah, someone out there was like, "Nah, I like it here."
Literally, yeah. We'll build these buildings and they'll float with the river. And it didn't happen. But Vegas is another one where it's like it's this desert city that in modern times it can exist, but it would by no means ever exist in any capacity ever. It's in the middle of the desert.
Yeah, don't they pump from that lake? Or it's like this big
The lake, and I think probably from the Colorado River, a little bit of both.
yeah, it's you can like look at it on you can like
How
you can like Google it and you can see like how like just how much that water level has dropped. Like it's doesn't look great.
Yeah, I mean, but they have no like it literally shouldn't exist. Like that they without like pumping in water, it just doesn't get water. It rains like once
Yeah.
a year.
Yeah.
But they've got that. There's an interesting documentary about the people that live in the flood tunnels because they've built flood tunnels in the event that it like downpours because it can also like the ground can't handle it because it's a desert. So like if it does rain
Mhm.
for a significant amount of time, it can't hold the water. So it will flood.
Oh, that's
It's a
crazy.
desert. And then so they have these like flood uh tunnels underneath the sea, and like
Interesting.
homeless. That's where like a lot of the homeless and like they go at night and stuff. They live under there.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
one floods and just wipe them,
Yeah.
wipe them out, wipe them out. Clean the city, clean.
Not for me.
No, not for me either. Not for me. Anyways, let's talk about the homeless problem. No, okay. I want to get a little into why we're having you on here, which is like the music producing and stuff inside of things. So I always ask because I always think it's interesting, but what got you into music producing?
So I've always, like I grew up on music. Like both my parents, they were always listening to music, and they both had very, 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 very different, tastes.
Yeah.
It's like my mom, she really liked like the Bee Gees, like Elton John, so I grew up listening to them, Casey and the Sunshine Band. Oh yeah, I was like blasting those like the other day or whatever, which is like I don't know, they're so good.
Yeah. Every time I get on an old school kick,
Yes.
but you can't go wrong. Can't go wrong.
And then my dad, of course, dad, he likes rock, and so it was cool like having like those like varying like degrees of like music. And so like I was always like, just listening to music, and I was always around it too. My parents, I remember they got me like this little guitar, and what is it? I was holding it like left-handed. So like I took the right-handed because I'm left-handed. So yeah, and so like that's just how I wanted to like play it or whatever. And so like there's a picture of me like in the bathtub, like just like holding this little like guitar. So like like I grew up with like musical instruments and stuff. And then like we had a guitar room at my dad's house, and he had like the little like the what do you call it? The electric like drum set with like the pads.
Electric pair.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Nailed yeah, nailed it. And yeah, no, and I want to say it's called a Warlock guitar, if I'm not mistaken, but it's a black guitar with like I don't know if that's like the style, maybe it's as a style. I haven't played in so long. But yeah, yeah, so I had it was a black guitar with like these red flames, and then the God, I'm butchering this, but you know the thing at the end of the guitar that like you like
Knobs.
the knobs, yeah, yeah. It had like horns on it or whatever.
Who's the music profession, me or you?
I know, right, right. Um, but yeah, no, I was just always like in the guitar room, like just hanging out, playing like on the keyboard, and then
So started with the guitar.
I guess so. Yeah, yeah. That and then like I said, like listening to like my parents like
Right.
music.
Well, I mean, we've all, yeah. We all listen. I think that's probably most of our first introductions to music, which is funny to say. I've never actually thought about that either. But yeah, listening in the car, whatever your parents put on, you're just that's it. But
Yeah.
like, so then from there, you getting into your own music was the guitar.
Um, like my own like style, like things that I was listening to.
No. Like, when did you start getting into music? Because obviously you're producing it now. So when was this like switch of like, this is why I'm getting into it?
Um, I so like I had like a couple of like key moments in my life that like led up to that. Like I was always finding myself like throughout like high school and then even like college a little bit. Like I was making these playlists like for like these parties and stuff, you know, like just like on my Spotify, like just mess up,
Yeah.
you know, and I always love to have like a really good playlist. And like I remember this one moment. I was on like a spring break.
All right.
Okay. And so this is like late at night and you know, everybody's like partying. We're like on this like beach house, you know, and it's like overlooking like, you know, like the beach and stuff or whatever. I mean, like it's really cool, man. Like I just like it's so like
Crazy.
yeah, no, it's so like vivid in my mind. But yeah, so anyways, they were like blasting music and they had this mixer. Okay, but it wasn't plugged into anything or whatever. But they were blasting I want to say the song is it was a Diplo song. I want to say it's called like Revolution, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
And anyways, well, they were just like yeah, blasting this music, and then me and this chick, whatever, we both looked at each other, and we looked at the mixer, and then we just started like twisting the knobs. It wasn't even like plugged in,
Right.
but we were like headbanging, and we were just having a blast. We were like flipping like all the switches. Like me, I didn't have a damn clue as to what
Yeah.
any
You're just fucking around like you're DJing.
yeah,
And
like
I got you.
there's a reason why I was like not plugged in, you know, like around like all these like people hanging out and stuff. But I just remember like I don't know, it was like I got like this like electric feel like in my body, like when like in that moment I was like, wow, I was like, this would be really cool to like perform. This would be cool to actually like do this
Yeah.
and to perform for people. I was like, I wonder what that feels like. You know, I was like, I wonder how that is. And then I remember it was like, you know, a couple years had passed by and I was like I remember I just kept on thinking about like music. I was like, oh, I was like, man, it'd be really cool if like, you know, like I did like this, like there was like this drop and they had like these hi-hats in here. I was like, man, that'd be a cool mix. And then I remember like waking up one day and because I'd already had Ableton on my computer, but like I never actually like dove into it or whatever. Like it was just like they had this plugin called Massive, like for like that for those of you out there, it was like old Massive. It was very like analog looking like
Okay.
layout. Yeah, not the it wasn't the friendliest UI in my opinion. And so um yeah, so I'd messed around with it a little bit, but then one day, I want to say it was like early 20s. I want to do this for real. I was like, I really was like, yeah. And so then I opened my laptop and I was like, yeah. And so I just went, yeah, balls to the wall.
So
And
you had spring break, then you had the analog version, and then one day just being like, I'm gonna start actually making.
literally,
That's kind of like the pattern away.
yeah, because I was like,
2 years.
yeah, I was like, because I was like, if I'm gonna like devote my time to this, I want to, yeah, I'm gonna do the whole thing. And I remember when I was in fifth grade, I did this report on Bill Gates, and I remember, you know how they make you do this reports, and they're like, God. And so, anyways, well, I had to do this report on Bill Gates, and one of the like really interesting things that I was reading about him. And like he would sit on the beach and read rocket science, and I was like, I remember thinking, like, I was like, how does he? Oh, that don't sound fun.
Right.
I was like, that doesn't sound like too like appeasing to me. And then I found myself reading the Ableton, manual, and I like and all the plugins and all their manuals, because that's one of the quickest ways to learn is reading the manual. And so like that's what I would do every time I got off of work. I would go home, I'd watch tutorials, and I would read that manual. Hated it. I mean, it was like 800 pages or something like that, and I read it like 4 or 5 times. Just learning how to like do this and do that. And then it's like there's not that knowledge and those skill sets start like compounding on each other. And even with that being said, there's a lot in Ableton that like I do use, and then there's also a lot that there's no reason for me to use it.
Right.
I don't need that. I don't need that plugin. I'm not going to mess with it. And so like that, I really wanted to create like a really like a solid concrete, foundation for me to build on. Cause I was like, if I learn this quicker, and then if I just get this mastered down and I know how to maneuver inside of the software, I was like, I can literally take my dreams to life. And so like, that's how I approached it. And, also, I was reading like these online forums of people, they're like, oh yeah, I've been producing for like, like 10 years. And I finally read the manual. It's been so helpful. I was like, yeah, that's not going to be me. I'm gonna read it today. I was gonna read it right now.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that was the approach that I had with it. And yeah, so I got, like I said, like I built my technical knowledge base down like pretty solid. So and then from that point on, like it's easier to, it just became easier and easier to make my ideas come to life. So like if I think of a sound, I can literally produce it.
That's crazy. That's honestly crazy to me. You have a very we've talked off camera and stuff. You have a very interesting creative process, in my opinion, and I wanted to walk through that a bit because I mean I know it, but I want to walk through for those that don't know. So when you're picking a song that you want to start creating, are you building it off of an initial sound, or are you taking an example from an artist that you like and then kind of making it your own? How does this process go from like, I'm going to create this song, here's how it starts, to like the finished thing, which I know you have your own things where you like to do. So you like to focus on certain things, which we can get into that too. But I'm just curious on how that process goes from like start to song. Cause like some of your, for instance, what is it? Desert. What's the name of it?
Desert Gardens.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I was like, I knew it was desert. I was about to say Desert Hearts. So I knew it wasn't that. That's why I would say it.
No, you made me think for a second. I was like,
Yeah, Desert Gardens. I one of my favorites. So I'm curious. Like, let's take that song for example. It's actually perfect. Let's take Desert Gardens. How did that come from start to fruition?
So with that one specifically, I got my inspiration from an artist called Bones. He's a rapper, and yeah, so like there's a certain vibe in his track. I want to say it was called Sodium. I want to say that was the track. I may be mistaken, but anyways, yeah, there's just like a certain like vibe
That are like, I want to make something similar to that.
yeah, I want to take like how I feel from this song, and I want to put it into my own track.
So not necessarily the sound, but like the feeling that it brought to you. You were like, I want to replicate that in my own way for others.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
yeah. Well, I mean, my tracks are, it's what makes me feel good.
Yeah.
Like it's something that really vibes with me. And yeah, it's like I need to get videos of it, but it's like whenever like I'm producing and like I finally get like that feel down, or like there's like this idea that's like coming to life or whatever, dude, I'm like dancing like in my apartment, like and like I just keep on like running the track back, like listening to it over and over and over and over and over again. It's almost like an addiction. And I remember one day like my watch went off, like the heart rate spike. Yeah, it was like heart rate, and I was like, oh god, or whatever. I was like, why is that? And then like I started like looking at it. I was like, why is this? And so basically it was just like, it's like you're excited, you're happy with what you're doing, like you're fine. And then it told me like it was like these are just like some default settings on it, like you're fine, because I was all
Got two of the leads on the watch. Okay. Okay, so back to the song creation. I mean, yes, obviously it's just telling you the default settings.
Well, dude, I mean, I'm into all the health and fitness stuff, but yeah, I mean, yeah, but so like bringing it back, like other tracks too, they start off with like I'll hear it like in my head,
Yes.
and I'm like, oh, I have to go into my software right now, and I have to put this idea.
Yeah.
I was like, because it's almost like it's like a birth. It's like something coming to life, and I have to capture it, because if I don't, it could go away. And there are some things that I've just like, like poofed, and I'm like, oh damn, like I really wish I would have like
It's interesting to me that you say that because from a creative standpoint, me doing social media and content creation as my background, I find it very interesting to talk to artists and of all fields, whether they do just artwork, music, anything of that nature, even sometimes coding for certain things. When I talk to people, like it's very interesting how that initial idea comes, and we have no explanation where that comes from, but it
Yeah.
comes and it like you said, it's like its own little form of life, and you got to kind of jot it down right away or it's gone to the ether forever. I always sometimes it's interesting too. I don't know if you've had this. Um, I've noticed in my life because I don't necessarily write everything down. I know I need to because that's how I operate now. It's better for me. I remember things, otherwise I forget. But with certain ideas, for me, I'll have it where like I might have it and then it leaves and then it comes and then it comes again. But like if it hits a third time, then I'm like, this is fucking it.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
it. This is it. I gotta like this. And not only do I say this is it, I also go, there's some reason this has now been in my head 3 times. Like
Exactly.
there's a big reason. So now I really need to pay attention to it because it's like almost like the universe, God, whatever you believe in. We're not gonna get into that, but it's like pinging you of like, hey, hey, hey.
Yeah.
And when I don't know, it's interesting to me when I recognize something on like the third time. Sometimes I might be gone. I don't get to write it down, but then on like the third time, I'm like, wait a minute. I have been thinking about this for like 3 days now. Okay, that's an indication that I need to like go at that.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's an interesting feeling, but I digress. So you sometimes you get these creative ideas from things like that where it like pings you. You hear a song sometimes, you get inspiration from that, and that's kind of how you're going about things. There's no set like I sit down, I think of this and this. It's just kind of like the creativity flows, and then you go sit down and do it.
Yeah, it's like a calling, and it's a I need to answer is the attitude.
That's a good way to put it. Phone rings, I got to pick up. The universe rings. Um, what would you say is something that you prioritize in your producing for your songs? What's one of the more key things that you're like, I really focus on this key aspect because of XYZ?
Um, hmm. I would say repeat the question again.
Just like,
Okay.
is there a specific element when you're producing a song and creating a song that you're kind of focused on? Is it production? Is it sound design?
Sound design.
Specifically?
Yeah.
And what about sound design? Just that, is there a certain level you're trying to get it at, or what? Like, give me some. Yeah, get into it a little bit. I'm curious.
Yeah, so it's like um it's like each sound has these little like these textures like in this characteristic, like these like like vibrations like
Yeah.
to it, and it's something that just like hums. It has to like hum like with me, like with my spirit or like my energy, whatever you want to call
Mhm.
it, and then it's after I find like this one like really good like sound that like resonates with me. There we go. That's a good one. That resonates. Then I try to find other sounds that resonate with it, because like if you listen to my music, it's almost like my friend was like, oh, like he was like, you need like lyrics and like vocals like in your music. And me, I was like, I mean, I want the bass to speak for me. It's a conversation that's going on. And so if you listen to my music, it's all these little, like different like little elements, and I have to sit there and like make sense of, like each of these like certain types of, like bass notes and wobbles and stuff, because there's certain sounds that just do not like blend well into the next one. Like it can be like, like that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like, so it's literally like this, like, I guess this like conversation piece, that I'm thinking about, each time like I make my music. And, I mean, and that's how my style is, like developed over time, and so I have no idea like how that will progress. And I'm pretty excited to like see how that progresses too, because I've also seen my progression like in other tracks. Like I'll go back and listen. I'll be like, oh, like I see what I was figuring out there. I was like, that's really cool. And so yeah, I guess I say like right now, like that's what I look for. Yeah.
Things that speak to you in a sense, and that sound and building off of it.
Yeah, it's like the bass notes rhyme.
Yeah,
It-
you
that
said it actually perfectly, and I don't know why I didn't repeat that, but the flow of it is what matters. It's the same thing with like DJing. Like you want your songs to flow
Exactly.
greatly into the next one, but you're taking it from you have a set that's this big, an hour long, you want everything to flow within it, but you're taking it down to like the micro level of like
Yeah.
this 3 minutes needs to really flow and tell a story.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like you can just get so in depth with some of these, like with some of these plugins, and you can just create all like just all these different like wild textures and like things, like going on and or going off or whatever. And
You know who Ganja White Knight is?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, they're just would you talking about story and telling a story. They're an artist in my opinion. I think from the EDM realm, of course, does a really good job in their sets of telling a story.
Mhm.
There's been multiple times where I'm at a set and I'm like, oh, I really not, especially with their visuals, but that's a whole nother element we're not talking about. But like they really get the music to tell a story. They're taking you on a musical journey of sorts.
Yeah, yeah.
And
So,
it's something it just dawned on me to bring up because I just think that that's good for those that are like, what the fuck are they talking about? Like, and if they know who Ganja White Knight is, that would be a really good example for them.
yeah.
But no, that's cool. I like the idea and the process of that flow. It's interesting. You know, not only is there a flow with the music, but you're probably also getting in like a flow state when you're creating that. Like I'm sure like when you're just in that creating, you're just like zoned in, like
Oh,
just
100%.
on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big thing with like all creatives to like get that flow. Actually I'm gonna bring this up. Is there ever you had times where you have like that creative block? Have you experienced that yet? Or not to bring that up in a
Like, like I would say no, for myself. And the reason why I say no, like I'm not saying I've never had problems or anything like that. And
right.
I've never like been necessarily stuck, but it's like I just keep going, and the mentality is I'm going to figure it out. And so like it's not I don't know. I wouldn't call it like a block, and I don't even look at it like that.
You're not putting an external pressure on it.
Yeah.
I think that's what part of it is too, is like some people they have that moment where they're stuck and then they kind of give themselves an extra pressure on top of it that then creates this bigger problem. And then they're like, oh my God, I just can't figure anything out. And I mean, so they almost like overload their own brain and then they get stuck versus like being like, okay, I'm kind of stuck, but I just got to keep finagling it and moving the pieces. And eventually it's going to click and lock and the door's going to open.
Yeah. Also too, like I look at tracks that that I don't finish. Like some of them I'm like, well, maybe that was just the idea that needed to be it, and that is it. It's not going to be a track. I just needed to do this exercise. And then when I'm like really deep into a track, there's like this feeling that comes to life. It's like I was like there's something in here. It's like a quest. It's like I'm like there's another world that I'm trying to access, and it's like I can hear it, and like maybe some things, maybe some elements in the song are like all for like these different bass tones and these different like tonalities and all this other stuff. Like maybe it's not like rhyming the way that like I really want it to, but I'm like there's something there. I need to keep digging. I need to keep finding out like what is that? And then once it clicks, it's just like it's incredible. And that's when I listen to the song about 1,000 times, just over and over.
So you're kind of following that feeling more than anything. And then if it's like not there, like, okay, well, this wasn't it. I got to move on to the next thing.
Yeah, I mean, I've totally abandoned tracks, and yeah, I actually had some. I'm about to release a track next week, and I had worked on that maybe like 3 years ago or whatever. And someone on Instagram, they actually commented, they're like, "Oh, like dude, like this sounds awesome." They went like way down in like my post.
Yeah, bring it back kind of deal.
Yeah, and then I was like, that actually like, I was like, that does sound really good. I want to check it out. And so then I remember like opening my laptop and just being like, there's something here. And so now it actually sounds, I mean, it sounds like drastically different from what it was and then to
Yeah.
now, but it still has a ton of those elements in there. And that's where I'm like, oh, like there's something there. There's something to chase. And so I thought it's like, I don't know if it's like buried treasure.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I think that's very interesting. I think a lot of creatives can relate to that as well, where like you have an initial idea, but you think of on it, you're working through it, and like something's just not coming. And it's
mm,
like I've done that when it comes to like social strategy and content creation. Like there's been times where I'm like, there's a concept there that I can apply to the brand I'm working with, and I can't figure it out right now. And so, I
yeah,
write it down, then yeah, maybe I come back to it 2 days later and it's like, oh, I could just do this. Boom, done. And it's like, great. Now I got it.
yeah,
And it's interesting how that it's like so different from a lot of the world we live in, where it's very like do the work, get analytical, finish the job, versus like that's just like not.
It's non-creative.
Not creative. It's not. It's the exact opposite. As a matter of fact, I think it almost like, which we kind of alluded to earlier, it's like when you kind of force that creativity, it's almost like you just run into a wall.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Burnout.
Burnout's what I think people generalizely call it. Yeah.
Yeah.
When you force it. I mean, I've taken a turn on things, not to make it about myself, but like when it comes to content creation now, I've done like a complete 180, like where I've, before, and it's so interesting. I don't want to go on too big of a tangent, but for me, like I said, I did a 180, and there is some truth to like the consistency and like approaching social media and stuff as a business of like, I must do this every day. There's definitely some truth to that.
Yeah.
But if you're like wanting to just have fun and enjoy it, then make sure that's the main element you're doing.
Yeah, there's that too.
Right. Because I mean, I was finding myself being locked in on like one specific topic and realizing, well, I'm so much more than just this one topic. I'm Bab's life. I'm showing off Bab's life. So why am I only showing one thing, one element of it? And I can still show that element. It doesn't mean not, but it's like if I'm making all my content around this one thing, I would always get burnt out by like month 4 and be like, I'm just so fucking exhausted. And that's that wall I hit because I'm forcing content about this one topic versus like, all right, I like hiking, I like podcasting, and I like this. I like all these things. So why not just show them all? And I've done a complete 180 where I'm like, anything on Bab's life now is just whatever I enjoy. I don't give a flying fuck if it does good or not. I hope it does good, but like,
no, I think you have great content. I like seeing it too.
I'm like, oh, I appreciate it. It's definitely changed. I mean, and I did like a drastic thing. We talk about like stopping. You can always come back. I was like, I'm stopping everything for 2 months. People were like, what? I'm like, I'm just making nothing for 2 months. Like, nothing, and which was good. I needed that, but that's a whole different topic. But it's just, making things. I actually have been. It's definitely been a theme of recent podcasts, just because again, it's been a very important theme in my life. But that like element of fun, I think, is just so important. And I thought, and also not only is it important, but it's also important not to lose sight of like, why did you start? It's equally as important to have a goal and a vision when you're on those days that you're not motivated to do it. But it's also equally to be like, well, I just enjoyed it, so I guess I should go back to enjoying it, because you'll just keep enjoying it. Like versus like making it so like rigid and strict or something like that.
Yeah.
But I think everything should have an element of fun to it. Because then what's the point?
Yeah. No, this track that I'm about to release, I could have finished mastering it, I think last weekend, because I finally figured out this element, that like for the track, it's situated here. Yeah, for the track that like I was like it's just this one element. It's like driving me nuts. And so anyways, when I finally figured it out, what it was like, I actually took like a little like 2-hour break. I was chatting with one of my friends. And then like when I went back, it was like that refresher, and I was like, oh, I was like, here it is. But then I was like, well, I could finish mastering this track right now. I was like, because everything is figured out. And but then I'm gonna take the week off and I'm gonna start another project. And then this week I'm gonna go and like finish that mass. Well, also too is like you can get like ear fatigue and not hear certain things. Well, like
I've never thought about that, but that makes sense.
yeah, like when you hear a track like over and over and over and over again, you can like start ignoring or like or expressing like more like certain like
Wrong.
it's like
Start adjusting things the wrong way because you're just like hearing it differently. Yeah,
you could think like the bass is too heavy, and then like it's like you tone it down, and then like when you're like, oh great, and then like you might listen to it 2 weeks later like now it's too thin. Like it's way too thin. And
it's just funny.
good. Yeah, so I think those breaks are important for like creativity and not making it like some rigid concrete.
Something that just dawned on me, and I'm curious if you have this experience too, but like when you talk with other producers or creatives, you get that like burst of energy, and just when you're bouncing off the creativity, it's like you get that rejuvenation almost in it, from like you're like a little kid with it. You're like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like when I have like other creators on and we talk just content for like an hour, I'm like, oh, I got all these ideas, let's go. Like I love that, like just creator content talk, because it just gets me invigorated to go.
Yeah.
And it's needed. It is needed because it's hard. Also, it's as much as these things are like solo things on the back end,
100%.
it's also so important to have that overall friend group, which I mean, you could say that with anything, but like just that those people you can talk to about it are night and difference. Like that is something when I started, I knew when I started making content, I had no friends doing it. And it wasn't until like I started having some other influencers and content creators on the podcast here and there, and would keep in touch with them here and there. And it wasn't really till like year 2 or 3 of me doing it where like I started talking to them on like a regular basis. And that was like that's when things just changed, because it was like, oh, I'm hearing this idea, I'm hearing this, I got this concept, and I'm feeling good about it. That also I can bounce ideas about them. Hey, I'm thinking about doing this, and this. What do you think? And they could be like, that's a great idea. Oh my gosh, I didn't think about that. And all these different things were like the first 3 years of buying myself and head down. I made more leaps and progressions in like 2 months of like just being with a community than I did
Yeah.
3 years by myself.
Yeah.
It's been a long learning curve of that shit, like stuff like that.
Well, you're learning from each other because each one of you's already done things solo, but you've probably focused on one like certain things solo. So yeah, so it's like you're a master like in your own right, but like in a certain realm of what you do. And so that's I mean, I like talking to, other producers and stuff like that because it's like you start learning from each other. Like, it's like I may I may be like, oh, like, like this one thing is like so difficult or whatever like to do, or like I'm like this sounds like this, and then it's like like I had a producer go like, well, why don't you try like doing this? And they're like, oh, and then like it also feels good like when I do that too, like with other people. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I was like, well, I was like, what about like this plugin? And I was like, you can fix the ratios on this, and then do that, and then it'll take this away and express this more.
Yeah.
And the guy was like, oh, dude. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's cool. It's like a feedback. Like it feels good, like helping someone else out too.
Absolutely. 100%.
So, it's like it's like all these like little like joys that you get in life, like
Yes.
through your art, not just doing the art solo, but it's like you get to teach, and you also, get to be like taught too, by others.
Absolutely. It's all about, I think a lot of life too is not only is having fun, but also those little joys along the way, like the small things that keep building, because like you need those sometimes.
100%.
I love our conversation. I unfortunately am on a little bit of a time constraint for this episode, so I apologize. But before we get going, I always ask first time guests when they come on, the theme of the podcast, ask them how they live themselves for every day. For those that don't know, that's their first time listening. Theme of the podcast is living yourself for every day. So my question to you before we get out of here is, how do you live yourself for every day?
So I mean, like I told you my morning routine.
Yeah.
Already. Yeah. So like with the, I'm waking up and I'm already like conquering the day and already doing like really, really like hard things. And then so since I only work out 3 days a week on the days that I'm off, well, instead of going to the gym, I go to my studio. And so like I take that same like like that cold shower, that nice refresher, the morning stillness, and also yeah, I meditate too in the morning. And so it's just having that crystal clear like mind and start to the day, yeah, and I love Beyond Brew coffee, so good. Yeah, no affiliation, by the way. I just like
plug what we like. We plug what we like on the show. Friend of the show, Beyond Brew Coffee.
But yeah, I just like starting off the day, like that. It's just like I feel like for me, and I've said this to some of my friends, I feel like one of those like those like, have you seen like Maverick with like Tom Cruise?
Yeah.
Or whatever. Yeah, like man, I feel like that when I wake up, I'm just like ready to go. And just like yeah, I don't know. I don't know, it's a good feeling because it's like every day I know that I'm putting my best foot forward and I don't have a regret for that day. I'm okay with I'm okay with trying my absolute best, and then, failing or not doing as good. Is like, like I had hoped, but living with the regret of like, oh, like I could have woke up earlier, because it's like I could have woke up earlier, I could have done better, I could have tried like a little harder, because it's like the days that I'm off from the gym, I want to sleep in. I don't, it's like, but, it's like what matters, like what matters more to me, it's like, well, going to the studio,
Right.
waking up, doing that and dedicating like those fresh hours, like of my mind to my art. And then also take that into the weekend as well. But it's just like this nonstop, I wouldn't call it like a grind. I mean, like I love doing it, and
Well, it doesn't feel like a grind.
Yeah.
Enjoying it for sure.
Yeah, sometimes waking up and taking that cold shower, man, I get pissed off like a cat. But
I am not that expensive, but I'll roll with it.
But yeah, I guess yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that really.
No, so to sum it sounds like just having that routine every morning, whether it's just putting the right foot out every day.
Yeah.
When you get out of bed,
making time.
making the time.
Yeah.
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 Taking the time for your goals, yourself, whatever that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, because it's like it's interesting. It's like, it's like you hear some people say like, oh, I don't have time to do that, or like I can't make that happen. Like you'll make it happen if you want it bad enough.
I think that speaks volume to everything. I mean that applies like to everything that you just said. Whether it's something you want in life or whether it's something you want in a relationship or your significant other wants, like all that, it's very revolving in that sense of like, yeah, if they want it or you want it, you're gonna do it. Pure and simple. And it's funny because life, I think, is so complex and there's a lot of nuances, but that is one of the few things where I'm like, it's pretty black and white. Like
Yeah.
and it is. There's no other way around it. It's like you either want it or you don't. And if you don't, that's fine. Don't lollygag about it. Just be honest with yourself and realize you don't, and you're done, and be done. With whatever that situation is, whether it's making music, doing a podcast, going to work out every day. Like if you want to lose the weight or you want to bulk and you want to work out every day, well, make the time for it. Like it's such a simple thing, but it was a perfect way of summing it up was make the time for it. I mean, just yeah, yeah. We're gonna leave it on that note. I think that's a great note for people to leave it on.
That was good.
Make the time for it. You'll make the time for it if you want it, and bad enough. So,
Yeah.
dude, I appreciate you taking time out of your day to come on. I really appreciate it. Next time we'll have to time it with a song release where I hear the song before. We can kind of talk about the creation and all that. I'd love to get into all that. That's what I did with Thrasha for her EP. She sent it to me before I got to listen to it, and we kind of talked about the creation of the EP and stuff for a little bit. So I didn't think about that until halfway through, and you're like, I have a song coming out next week, and I was like, damn it, we should have done that. But thank you so much for taking the time. I really enjoyed it, and hopefully come on again.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Before we go, tell people where they can find you on, SoundCloud. We'll also link it in the podcast, but just like where they can find you and stuff.
Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram, all my social media handles as Elf Music Official, and then also to have a link, not LinkedIn, yeah, LinkedIn. I have a link tree that has all my links in it. So if you go to Instagram, you can click on that and find me anywhere.
Awesome. Thanks for coming on again, man.
Thanks for having me.
All right, buddy. Peace.
Peace.